being the world's best employer isn't just retaining employees forever. It's helping people meet their goals.
Welcome to the Bullpen podcast hosted by Torian Consulting. I'm Sonia Pedowick.
I'm Bobby Watkins.
I'm Misty Rodriguez.
Each week we'll be bringing you different episodes about fintech and talent.
It's going to be exciting to be able to talk about these topics in depth, to be able to bring you guests, to be able to dive into topics on recruiting, mental health, the job market, new technologies, and of course, everything happening in our beloved city of Las Vegas.
Do you want a job or not?
Let's grab the bull by the horns. Welcome back to the Bullpen podcast hosted by Torian Consulting Group. Today, we're joined by Charles Inglehart from Vision Technologies. Today, we're going to cover leadership, technology, Las Vegas. Get ready to grab the bull by the horns.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's super exciting. Welcome.
Welcome.
I know.
Yeah, me and Bobby go way back. I'm really excited to have this invite and this opportunity. So.
Way back. We're going to have to get into that, I'm sure.
What
Yeah.
does that mean?
I know, right? So tell us a little bit about what you do and Vision Technologies and kind of just a little bit about your story here.
Oh, thank you. Been with Vision since October of 23. My first major role was doing program management for a large school district out here. And recently I've transferred over to running cash flow accounting. So all of AP
Oh, wow.
and AR, like from an operations standpoint. A lot of leadership similarities between the two roles, believe it or not. You think accounting and program management are so different. Really, at the end of the day, it's how do you motivate your team? How do you keep people on board? And how do you manage change? So yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit about me.
Yeah. And that was exciting because like when we had met and went to lunch a few times, you got into some of your leadership theories and ideologies. And so I was like, man, that's exciting. And we just kind of hit it off. We just started talking about it. So when we thought about leadership, I was like, Charles is the guy for that.
Thank you.
So we can jump into it. And so like, how do you define your leadership style? How has it grown or changed over the years? Kind of, you can just dive into it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'd say to me, it's all about leading your team and managing your team and motivating your team. And the way that you do that as an effective manager is to really get in tune with what their goals are. And when I say goals, I don't mean these are your sales goals. These are your operational goals. These are the things I need you to do. For me, it's what are you looking for through Vision to meet your personal, your professional, and your financial goals? How can I help you meet those? And so what do I mean by that, right? A personal goal for me, for example, is like I want to be home every evening and have dinner with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I communicate that to my direct manager early and often. And we set the expectation that there's going to be a block of time throughout the evening that I'm unavailable. Right? And it's okay to set healthy boundaries.
Right.
You might want to obtain a professional certificate, or you might want to go back and get your degree, or whatever the case may be. I haven't mentioned money yet because money is only one piece of that puzzle, right? And it might be you want a certain amount of money in your savings account by a certain date. You might want to make a certain amount of money as a salary, but really there are other levers you can pull that are outside of just pay me more money, because a competitor can give you an extra couple bucks an hour.
Sure.
But are you willing to take that risk that your manager is going to listen to you and respect you and represent you when it comes to the other aspects of your life that you're trying to achieve through the finances of your job? And that's the way that I kind of frame like running my team and motivating and retaining my team.
Yeah, it's really hard to find that within a culture too, because a lot of people do often move just for the money, and then they find themselves stuck in a situation where they don't get that time back with their family and they're tied to their device. They're still thinking about work or bringing work home. And so what have you traded, right? You've traded time for money and then lost so much in the end. So that's a really good leadership quality.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I guess that adage is the grass is always greener, or maybe the grass is greener, but sometimes it's just grass.
Right. That's true.
And
I like that.
you know what you're dealing with in front of you today if you have a manager that's in tune with your goals.
Yeah.
And if you're comfortable with communicating those, right? Some people don't want to have that time.
Yeah.
But if you're genuine and sincere, and then you show the results by making those little changes to make those things happen, then it continues to happen. It's a nice little cycle.
Was there someone in your career earlier that modeled that for you?
Yeah, I learned it about 13 years ago. I was working for a private practice audiology consulting firm in Vancouver, Washington, where we were preserving private practice audiology. And audiologists are wonderful at improving people's lives through better hearing, managing their customers is great. The operational side of the business, right? Turning marketing into customers and turning customers into buyers, right? Turning buyers into people that would come in for repeat visits, following up with batteries and getting new hearing tests and stuff. That was the stuff that we had to teach them how to do a little bit better. And in it, we had a great management group that taught us how to get really in tune with people's personal, professional, and financial goals. And they used it on us too. I would share that with my boss, and it kept me engaged and focused, and I felt very wanted. Yeah.
So it's kind of like when doctors, like their bedside manner, they don't just come up and tell you you're dying from cancer, but do it in a nice, softer
Right.
tone of,
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the plan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
here's your goals.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Best of luck. But, so
Well, they often say that doctors are not really good at running businesses. A lot of them
yeah.
really struggle at
Mhm.
really good at the doctoring.
Yeah.
And some maybe not as well, but good at the doctoring part. But the office business side of it, really, they struggle at that.
Yeah. Front office, back office,
Yeah.
all that stuff, training people, coaching people.
Yeah.
It's not a comfortable thing to do as a dentist or an audiologist or a doctor, run through a script with your front office staff.
Yeah.
You come in, you go to the back room and you wait for your 9 a.m. But there's people that are hungry at every level, right?
Yeah.
You want leaders at every level. You want the guy or girl running your front office desk to be a leader.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want the person in the back office to be a leader. And to assume that people are born leaders, or to assume that leadership is something that you don't have to constantly foster, I think is a myth.
Yeah.
And more so than being a good accountant or a good manager or a good whatever, engineer or operator, being a good leader is something that if you have, you can provide value in all facets of any business.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what do you do to keep up on some of your leadership skills? What are you?
I give books out a lot.
Uh,
And as a result, I'm always buying these books.
Yeah.
And then I encourage folks, I say, hey, if you want to read these things, I'll pick the book back up too. And we'll have a little book club.
Yeah, I love that.
yes. Speaking members,
I love that.
I will share books with you. I really will. Because this stuff pays off.
Yeah.
Leader. I love it.
But there's 4 books I'll name here that I picked up over the years that I really feel have helped hone my leadership ability. One of them is called The Leader Who Has No Title by Robin Sharma.
Mm.
And it's kind of what I was explaining a little bit earlier. You want leaders at all levels, and you don't have to be called the boss to be a boss,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to come in and slam your fist down on the table and say, I'm in charge, because
Yeah.
that person usually isn't. People are going to follow
Mm.
leaders,
Yeah.
and you can be a leader at any level.
Yeah.
The second one is The Language of Trust by Michael Malansky. Third one is The 4 Agreements by
Yes.
Don Miguel Ruiz. And then one of my absolute favorite authors, John Maxwell. He wrote a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Leadership. Yep.
Yep. Good.
That's a
Finished
good
my sentence.
I like
I can tell you've read it.
That's a good one.
He's got a lot of those great books. I've had the pleasure of attending some of his talks, and just powerful message.
Yeah.
It resonates really well.
I think Robert Sharma has another. I feel like someone sent me a link to another one of his books.
Yeah, there's another big one I saw. I was like on
Coaching
Amazon when I was
one?
buying this last one. I was like, if you like this book,
Yeah.
this book. I don't remember
I
the
feel
name
like I
of the
have
book.
one of his in
Yeah.
my shopping
Add to cart.
Right.
I'm gonna look at because I feel like someone
that's
recommended
good.
one of his books that when you said his name, it made me think about that. There's a book that the gentleman's name is gonna totally, of course, right now escape me, but the guy who wrote Giftology, he actually just passed away. He was only in his 50s, but the Cutco guy, and he talked about like the importance of being a good gifter and paying attention to what your customers like and being original in your gifting. And Cutco was like the door-to-door selling
Oh, yeah.
and
I love
mastering
yeah.
sales. And I went to a conference and there was some people that were talking about him, and the gift of books was kind of like the message after this conference. And I just thought that was so powerful. And someone had said like, oh, I have this little like 31 and 31. It's like this MLM thing. That's like a little basket, and they kept it in their car. And so of course,
No to
Yeah.
MLM.
I know. Of course, I went out and bought one. And so underneath my truck seat is this thing. And whenever I buy a book, I buy like 3 of them. And then if I like the book innately in a conversation. So as you were talking about listening to what's important to people, I was like, oh, I got to give Charles this book
This book is
called
gonna
The
be good.
Dream Manager, which is about it's a kind of a parable about a manager in this company who couldn't get, it's a cleaning company, and they couldn't get people to stay, and they couldn't get company culture. And so they were like, well, what if we found out what was important to our people and we started investing in their dreams and what was important to them outside of work, because it was such high turnover to get these people to clean these commercial buildings. And
Ooh.
anyway, it told when you were talking, I was like, oh, I got to see if I have a copy of this book to give him.
I haven't heard of that one. I'd love to read it.
It's just a little parable book. And so what they did was they started helping people investing in their own dream of home ownership, of
Oh,
college,
I like
of
that.
just figuring out like why it was hard to get to stay at this job, and simple things like a shuttle bus to and from some of the job sites, all these like little tweaks that they made, and they took like 150% attrition and turnover in jobs to like down to like 12%. And people were like, I want to go work for this cleaning company. I want to stay at this cleaning company, because then they stayed. Low-level cleaners became shift supervisors, became managers, became area managers. And all of a sudden, this company, this cleaning company, became like the most sought out cleaning company to like work for.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it was really kind of
Wow.
interesting, because they were like, well, what, instead of what's in it for me as the company, what's in it for my workers? And they imagine they're like $12, $15, $14 an hour commercial cleaning people, became like people who were like inspired and empowered to like want to work for this company. And it made me think of that, your leadership style. I was like, oh, I gotta go see if I have a copy of Dream Manager.
I'd love to read it.
Yeah. And so if you go into one of our conference rooms, there's like stacks
A
of
library.
books. Yeah,
What
there's a
they call that?
library of books, because I think it's important. It's like the easiest gift to give, right? And then innately in every conversation, someone sparks something like, oh, you should read the Who Not How, or you should read, The Gap in the Gap, some book. And I'm like, oh, I have this book in my car. Let me go out, like when I walk out from a lunch appointment or something, I have this book. You should read this book.
I'll have to bring a canvas bag the next time I'm with you.
Yeah.
But
Actually, we'll gift you one.
Excellent.
We'll put
To just
them-
grab the bull
yeah,
by the horns.
yeah.
I'm just
We'll
grabbing
put it
books.
in right? We can have those made.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right?
I
I
like
that
it.
was
Yeah.
One other thing I'm big on is when companies do like tuition assistance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And in my last
Good
role, we had a lot of young folks that were aspiring network techs, and they wanted to really get into networking. But a lot of those certs that are so important that you get to be attractive in the marketplace aren't cheap.
No.
And they come with books and study guides and testing requirements and costs, where Vision, if you're a full-time employee, will give you $5,000 a year to go
Nice.
and attain your professional goals.
Yeah.
And doing that without racking up a bunch of debt
Yeah.
was a big selling feature to a lot of these folks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to know what they're looking for to know what to provide as a package, as a compensation package.
And you have to also know that you're investing in that person's future, regardless of whether or not they're going to stay with your company.
Yep.
You really have to not worry about that.
Yeah, I've got a
Like that notion of like, well, I'm going to invest in them and they're going to leave.
Yep.
Well, what if they leave anyway?
maybe they'll leave and go into the marketplace and say really nice things about you.
Exactly.
How great is that?
Exactly.
When I worked at Amazon for a number of years before this role, and in every warehouse, they had a classroom, and they wouldn't teach you how to be a better sorter or picker or packer.
Right.
They taught you truck driving school or accounting basics
Right.
or
Oh,
a number of things that the employees would ask for.
Yeah.
And they would, for free, bring in an educator and sit a class of people down and teach them new skills that had nothing to do with promoting at Amazon. And to your point, the purpose wasn't to retain people.
Yeah.
You know, they almost came out and said, get your truck driving license and go be a great trucker. Like, if that's your goal,
wow.
being the world's best employer isn't just retaining employees forever. It's helping people meet their goals through the business. And then, say some nice stuff about it. Stay a customer. You know what I mean? Try
Refer a
Prime.
friend.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already do Amazon. Thank you.
Yes, it's hard. It's hard not to find a customer.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah. I
long as
think
you're
people
fine.
want to
Yep.
just be seen for more too. Like years ago, someone said to me, I see you bigger than you see yourself, and enrolled me in some personal development. And when my friend Julia said that to me, it was like earth shattering. Like it changed the trajectory of as an adult, right? That was in 2011 that she said that to me. And that was like, what does that even mean? You see me bigger than I see myself. So when people invest in you in that way, that's seeing someone bigger than in that moment they see in themselves. So when you say, hey, I'm going to give you some money towards college, or read this book because I think it's going to, that is so powerful. And in a time when people want to be marginalized and separated and all of those things, like seeing someone for their potential is such a powerful thing, especially an employer. Like nobody looks at employment like that value bucket at all. I think that's like super great in leadership for sure.
That is good.
I think there's also been a
You
shift
like that
though.
nugget?
Yeah,
That's a good
drop that
nugget.
in there. I think there's also been a shift though, like, and maybe you can talk about that. Like, are you not so much retaining or, you know what I mean? Like in that manner, but I don't know if it's just been post COVID, that kind of thing, but it's like the online world, right? Has just gone, I mean, let's admit it's all gone crazy, but that whole like, well, they don't give me anything, they don't do this for me, and why should I? This is my personal life, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's this dynamic that shifted. Do you get a lot of that, like Slack in that manner, or is it more just we're going to invest in you kind of thing?
I think the root of what you're saying is that your employees are perceiving whether or not you have a high or low level of trust for them,
Yeah.
right? If we're talking about like the online stuff going crazy, right? Like the idea about working from home versus reporting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a big one.
And I'm sure you folks are way more in tune about the data when it comes to productivity. There's studies that show that the productivity is nominal in the difference. But I think there's certain things that high performers do and don't want. Right? High performers don't want to be micromanaged.
Okay.
High performers don't want to ask permission to make a doctor's appointment. And so if you come out and you tell your folks that you're managing, look, I want to see your productivity, and that's the way that I'll hold you accountable. I'm not going to watch your team's status turn to yellow and then call you. I'm not going to ask what this block on your calendar for 10 a.m. on Wednesday is, right? I'm going to do the opposite. If I schedule a meeting and it doesn't work for something that you've got going on, let me know and I will work around it, right? If you get your job done in less time than the traditional Ford Motor Company work week from 50 years ago, probably older now, that's okay, right? Because maybe that's one of your personal goals is to be able to pick up your son or daughter from school every day. And you'll make up that time because you'll trust me and I'll trust you. And if I have a issue that needs attention, I know you'll jump up. Okay. And so I think when you look at working digitally and working remotely versus working in an office in a traditional sense, I think it really does kind of all come down to trust. As long as you're being productive and we're meeting our goals together, I don't care where your chair is. Obviously, there are some roles where you have to have a screwdriver in hand, a ladder under your feet,
Sure.
but those jobs have their perks too, right? You can't take that work home.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So you've got to motivate different levels of into it.
Yeah. And I think it's like with anything, it's communication and having that understanding of what that trust is at the beginning. And then knowing like once that trust is broken, there's got to be a new conversation and that you sort of change the rules of engagement and you've changed the game. And if you're going to change the game, then you have to know that your employer is they're going to change the game too, right?
Yeah. Well, think about one of the worst things you can do as a manager if you're managing a team, which is tolerating a bad work.
Right.
Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
we're all
That's
gonna see
another
it.
conversation.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
they're going to go, well, if Will can get away,
Yeah.
then why am I going to work
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
harder than Will? We both get paid the same because we talk it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's always my favorite. You're like,
and so you can just use the old adage of the team is noticing
Yeah.
and the team is wondering why. We're all supposed to be like, you're not, Will.
Yeah.
So step it up.
Yeah.
We have a lot to offer. So the conversation's simple. It's
Yeah.
just expectations.
Yeah.
They don't have to be. A lot of people love coming up with these one-off rules. This person has to document what he's doing all the time now, and this person has to be here from
Yeah.
this hour to this hour. You don't have to make it complicated.
Right. Right.
Just set the expectation and let it work itself out.
Yeah. And I think that's where maybe everything with COVID just happened so fast. Like it was just like we didn't really have a choice, right? And I don't know if we didn't have a choice. It just went like this is what has to happen, and there wasn't really rules or just there wasn't a lot of people just didn't know how to manage those conversations, and I don't think there was an education of how there was people managing people who either didn't already know how to manage people, they didn't have leadership development, leadership skills. Now you're like, oh, you're going to manage people remotely when you didn't even know how to manage people in person.
Yeah.
Right. And now you're having to like manage remote. I have a friend who works for Amazon was the organization. And so she had just hired a bunch of people who were moving to Seattle. And so like, as pandemic was like exploding, people are moving to a new state. And so now they're in a new location, supposed to go in the office. Now they're like in a new environment and they never met anyone that they're going to work with or not, you know what I mean? And so you're have all these new things and there's no rules. There's no conversation, there's no engagement. And they signed on for this company with this set of rules, this sort of culture, and now they're drop shipped into something that's like unknown and nobody had conversations, nobody had training. It was just like, oh my God, we're all in this explosion of unknowns. And I think nobody really just adjusted for all of that. And so then it became this like chaos, right? And then all of a sudden everyone's like, wait, now we don't like this remote thing. Now you all have to come back. And there's no rules around that either. And there's no conversation. So everyone's just kind of, but wait,
Yeah.
I'm more productive here. I'm more this. I'm more that. Well, who's set the bar for productivity?
Right. And look how short of a period of time it took for people to readjust.
Right.
Right. When I started at Amazon, we were all very much in office. There was even a point in my career where I would leave my laptop in my desk when I went home. Just lock it up.
Yeah.
And then we go back to work the next day. It's right there.
Yeah.
And we were bringing our dogs to work and we collaborating and we had whiteboards in the hallway and go up or down a level or go to the rooftop terrace or whatever. It wasn't
taking walking
fancy
one-to-one.
by any means, but it was a nice place. But when then COVID happens and you get very used to being in your apartment all day with your camera on and your computer on. And then, here we are, January 1st, and Andy sends everyone back to the office.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
Right.
The businesses come back alive again and traffic is a nightmare. People are walking the streets again and going from building to building and doing meetings in person. And if they rapidly changed to one way, maybe they'll rapidly adjust to what used to be the old norm. Yeah, people are resilient. I think regardless of that stuff too, right, it's still a good manager needs to help employees be in tune with what motivates them to get up every day, right? Because you're going to get up every day and maybe they'll be in office and maybe there won't. Maybe it'll be telework, maybe it won't. Maybe your boss will quit, maybe he or she won't. But regardless, you still got to get up every day, right? The sun's coming up and you got life to live.
Yeah.
And so I like to ask people, what is it that wakes you up every day? What that challenges you to get up every day? And then everyone always goes, oh, my kids, oh, my wife, oh, my family. Well, and I say the harsh reality of that is not forever, right?
Yeah.
You might not have your husband forever.
Yeah.
You may be blessed with healthy children that outlive you. You may not. You may attach yourself to a temporary role that cannot be your motivation for continuing on every day. And so I like to give people examples of what it is that gets me out of bed. And I tell people this because when you don't achieve the things that get you out of bed every day, you got to make a change. So I'll give you an example, right? One of the reasons why I get out of bed every day is I like to hear success stories. I love sharing in people's wins and when they overcome an obstacle and they feel good about themselves. I love hearing. I like saying them too. But when someone notices that you're just genuinely interested in someone else's success and happiness and you're not looking for an avenue to get something out of that, they open up and they share with you on an all right. I like to shake shit up. That's another reason why I get out of bed every day, right? I like to laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Right? I like to be helpful.
Yeah.
And when you put together a short list of 6 or 7 things that get you out of bed every day, regardless of other circumstances, temporary in your life, you can use that to calibrate whether you're in the right spot or not.
Yeah.
And you can use that as motivation to keep going when short-term things that are going to change do change. Kevin O'Leary said it best the other day. He was saying that if you're just patient, the good news will come. And at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday, he may get a call from one of his clients. Oh, the world is falling apart and we're losing all this money and we have to pivot it. What are we going to do? But then at 2 o'clock, it's, oh man, we 10x that revenue and this is great. And we got buyers on the line and I got to hire employees and we're growing. If you just know why you're here and you know why you're waking up and you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can last till 2 o'clock to get that good call.
Yeah.
Rather than throw it all away at 10 a.m.
It's such a good perspective because it's so heavy right now. And it's so easy to just, I think you called it the doom scroll.
Doom scrolling. Yeah.
It's so, I
We all know
never
what that
heard
is,
that.
so.
Like, it's just so easy to get. I mean, I have to just not get sucked into the text threads of, obviously there's political chaos going on right now and there's division and whether or not the halftime show sucked at Super Bowl, yes or no, or whatever you want to like debate right now. There has to be discourse. There has to be divide. And so at any given moment, someone wants to suck you into that. And I love that. So running not one, but two businesses, I'm acutely aware of the responsibility I have as a business owner, leading a team, the responsibility you have to choose to put on that brave face for people, right? And to be a leader every single day. And within one of my businesses, I'm coaching multiple other businesses that doom scroll all day. And it's like, wait, okay, what are you choosing? Where your energy goes, your mind flows, right? And so where your mind flows, your energy goes. It's like, what are you choosing to focus on? Where can you refocus that energy on? And let's celebrate something else. Let's talk about something else, because everything's a choice, right? And suffering is also a choice.
Yeah,
Right?
but I think what happens is with like those people that are online doom scrolling or in that element, I think in their minds, they're thinking, I want somebody else to feel what I'm feeling, to relate to that because they are scared or they're upset or they're whatever it is, right? But like to your point though, get off of it because I mean, go for a walk. It's beautiful. We're in Vegas. It's a beautiful day outside, but
right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just it's a mind shift and to that kind of like, it's just, you have to just let it go.
Right.
The world is what it is and we got to.
Yeah. And
keep
there's a
moving.
balance between like knowing what's going on and acknowledging it, being there for staff and employees and being like, I hear you and I acknowledge you, because some people, it's very much their reality, whatever's happening. Right. Like some people I know and I'm coaching, they're leading nonprofits, absolutely impacted, businesses that have grants, absolutely impacted. Like things are in reality in real time happening, right? You're supporting the school district. That things are happening in real time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you acknowledge it and be like, okay, what do you have control over? What can you do as a leader? Like teaching people those skills. What is this about you in this moment? And what can you do? How can you have an impact on whatever it is right now? And how can you choose to show up for yourself and those around you on your team and your ecosystem of whatever it is?
Yeah, it's very interesting to think about how connected everyone really is.
Yeah.
I'll just speak for myself. I'm glad I didn't grow up in a generation where we had cell
Ah.
phones in high school.
Right.
It was live stream.
Everything.
It was everywhere, and there's no hiding anything. Now it seems like you can make a real big splash with a small pebble.
Yeah.
And to your point, you have to make the choice whether that screen time analysis at the end of the week says 6 hours a day on your phone or not, right? They make it so like rewarding, like scrolling through that thing.
Yeah.
And what you feel is
Yeah.
education and knowledge.
Yeah.
You know everything about all this stuff that's going on. How cool is that?
It's like, I'm looking at you, Google.
Yeah. You gotta
Right.
wonder. You gotta wonder how much of that stuff is just someone's perception.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you got people that are hungry for
My
information
opinion.
and knowledge, and they're willing to just accept it for what it is without doing any research or validation themselves. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting time.
And what's amazing on that too is like how fast your feed can change. If you just click one article, it instantly changes. You're like,
I'll go around.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember looking at that, but
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to read that. Let me check it out real quick. Right
Yeah.
there, the cart books kind of
Yeah.
thing.
so you said something interesting about the why get up, right? Do you remember when it actually switched for you on, because you used to get up for your kids or whatever case may be. Do you remember that moment that it switched? Because that's pretty good. That was interesting.
Yeah, I had a leader one time get in tune with the reasons why I get up. And it was that person who sat me down, and when I wrote out my wife and my kids, and
We all have that one.
and he goes, I think he took like a Sharpie and just crossed it out.
Mm.
That's not what we're here for, man. Like, what are you looking to achieve every day in spite of these things? Wow. Think about it and come back. And when you do the exercise and you actually start to kind of figure out who you are as a person and what makes you, that stuff sticks with you.
Yeah.
And I've been telling people this same list for years, because for me, it hasn't really changed. Maybe for you, it will. It's not for me to say, but regardless, just kind of being in tune with what it is that you want to get on a bigger picture on a regular basis. But yeah, again, maybe, 12, 13 years ago when I had a major shift and I met a wonderful manager who sat me down and walked me through all this stuff, and it's stuck ever since. Maybe he hypnotized me in our one-on-ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's stuck, and I like it, and it feels good.
No,
So
I love that.
What wakes you up in the morning? So
Well, I love it. It's interesting because I did have a very pivotal moment when I am a working mom, and there's a lot of judgment out there. And
Guilt.
there's a lot of guilt and judgment around that.
Yeah.
Top three is not my kid. But because my top three are what my top three, I think I'm a better mom for my kids. And
I feel that.
there was, I think I'll get all emotional about it. Like our podcast is gonna
Let's
be
go deep.
crying.
Yeah, let's do this.
You know,
We're going deep.
I
We're going
do
deep. Listen in.
remember like being at like an event and some moms were like, "Oh, you missed like seeing Noah do this. Like next time I'll remember to send you a picture." And I was just like,
Ew.
it's okay. My husband sent it to me because my husband is amazing and we're a team and we know that there's things that he can go to and I can go to and we just figure it out. And I can't be at everything. He can't be in everything. And we wisely had our kids so close together. Noah and Arden are 21 months apart. Very much feeling that right now because Noah's at college and now Arden's going to break our hearts and go to college right away. It sucks. But like Ben and I are complete opposites. We're opposites on the Colby. We're opposites in our disc profile. And we're opposites on our zodiac signs, for God's sake. So like we couldn't be more opposite, but we balance each other out and we're there for each other. And we balance each other out even like in our jobs. Like he's in the mortgage industry. I'm in employment. Some years his freaking financial like industry is like in the pooper and mine has saved our butts, right? And it's opposite. It's like all the time we have had each other's backs, right? And so there was definitely a point where it used to always, oh yeah, I do everything for my kids and my husband. And I just remember when the kids were little and this mom like said that to me and I was like, no, no, I don't live every single moment for beautiful children that I've brought into
These little
the-
lovelies.
like no. And I think I knew it earlier too because I had worked my butt off to pay myself a salary to stay home with Noah. And I was home 8 weeks and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm staying. I am not cut out to be a stay-at-home mom. And no offense to stay-at-home moms, the world needs stay-at-home moms. The world needs every single person doing their part. And I volunteered when Noah was at kindergarten and I was like, there's no way in hell I could be a school teacher. Like I'm not cut out to do that job. And I know that about myself. And therefore I have supported every single one of my kids' teachers in every possible way. Donations, love, gifts, like whatever.
Last minute Valentine's gifts because it's Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I know my lane and I'm damn good in my lane. And therefore I respect everyone else in their lane. So I'm much like you. I love supporting other businesses. I want to be a catalyst for other people's success. I love amplifying other people's stories. I love helping people learn and grow. I love that. That's my why is how can I amplify other people's success and be a catalyst for other people's learning and growing and expand the realm of possible is Torian's tagline for a reason. Right. And so I think I knew very early into motherhood that like, I love being a mom. Love it. I mean, I was like cheering my ass off last night at one of the Palo Verde flag football games because I love watching her succeed. And I was like watching her succeed at the DECA championship yesterday. Like I'm their number one fan. And the biggest thing my kids say to me all the time is like, don't be so weird. I have to be so weird. But that's my job. And I think I'm great when I'm a mom, but I think I'm really great when I'm being a businesswoman. So I can be a mom when I'm a mom. But there's a lot of judgment out there. And that has hurt a lot over the years, like finding that spot. And I think women are really hard on each other. It has been really hard over the years.
I like what you said about how you can respect when other people are there.
Oh my gosh.
You're good in your lane, proud of what you do. You find value in that. But then to project that into the world and say, and I'm also proud of you for finding your lane.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the most important thing about what you said.
I think the one thing I love the most is when I meet someone who's so sure about who they are. Like I have a friend who's like, well, I mean, Bobby's one of them too. Like when they're so devout in their faith I struggle with that. And they are so grounded. I just think that's like the most beautiful thing because that's not something I've struggled with. So when I meet people who are like, they know who they are, that's like, because I still think I know who I am, but there's still parts where I'm like, I'm 50 and I'm like, I still got some shit to figure out.
I think it's also important to
Right? I'm still, I still like want to like discover parts. Like I was
Yeah.
telling Ben, like, let's go hike the Camino. And he's like, who the hell are you?
Let's do rim to rim first before we
You
do.
just saw a
Because I'm
targeted
really- yeah, I was
ad
like,
for hiking shoes, and now you're a hiker because you like color pattern on that shoe.
It's like your kid two
Some
kids
of the
to
stuff.
college, and someone was like, "What are you and Ben going to do with each other?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Themes.
I went to bed, I
It's
woke
like-
up, and I was like, "Let's hike the Camino." Like
Mm.
that'd be such a cool challenge. Like
Okay,
he likes
but-
to hike, I like to hike, and
Can we do that as like a work thing
No.
also, sort of? Because that'd be cool, no?
So
But-
now I'm gonna open my phone and I'm gonna have hiking shoes. That's a lot.
Make sure you try them on first, because I'm telling you, you don't want to order them one and be like,
but if
why?
you're gonna fit with, you're dying. So,
Yeah.
like, why?
You're
what?
dying.
Well, I think part of
Right.
growth, maybe if I can agree with you and then take a slightly different stance that I'm curious to hear everyone's take on is,
Uh-oh.
I think a part of growth is being willing to re-examine your deepest convictions.
Yes,
I am.
100%.
Yeah.
Always in challenge.
Yeah. So
Right?
so know who you are
Bobby.
about the stuff. I want to hear the reason why you said that motivates you and gets you up, but
Right.
don't be so stuck that you're not willing to grow or learn or take someone's advice as a trusted advisor, for
I have
example.
another book for you.
Is it the trusted
Uh-oh.
advisor that I already
No.
said? Oh, it's not on my list. That's such a
Check-
fantastic book.
No,
I'm gonna need
after
that
they
copy of
answer
that list.
Yeah,
I'm
my
gonna-
my last
I need a
version of
copy
it
of that
burned in a
list.
fire, so I don't want to rebuy that one. So I'll take it from you.
Yeah.
Oh,
No. So, you want us to answer that question?
Yeah.
Let Bobby go first.
I know. I was like, Bobby.
So you have to be willing. No, I agree with what you're saying there. Right. The willingness to want to change. So I think it's biblical and everything, but every day is a choice to renew your mind
Yes.
daily. And I find solace. I wake up at 4 o'clock most mornings. I'm gonna say every morning, I'll be lying, right? And it's an hour in the Bible and praying. But that is a renewing of my mind, because every day my flesh or my thoughts or my imposter syndrome rises every single day. So that's what I find solace in. But after that little shakeup, now I'm solid, and I know that today is gonna be good.
Yeah, I like that. The book of Revelation, it says, don't lose your passion for Jesus. And you're not losing your passion.
Even though it's gonna be, but there was a willingness though when I had that encounter to change. That's where I believe that's what it comes down to.
Misty?
Well, because Bobby, we've had conversations about all this stuff, because I grew up in a very, I don't want to say strict, but the very Christian, at the heart, the value. We went to church every Sunday. I belonged to all the youth group. I did all the right things, right? And it still didn't go the way I wanted it to go, right? Life in general. Because you have the choice. The Bible's very specific. Not to get into the Bible, I'm sorry. But
Good book.
yeah, it's a good book. You should check it out. Co-authored by, co-authored by. No, but I mean, as I've gotten older, to your kind of thing, like it's not that I've lost my passion, it's shifted, because I'm more of a realist now with my relationship with religion, or like you know what I mean? Like, they don't call it religion, right? Christianity doesn't call it religion. We call it a lifestyle almost. But my lifestyle has shifted because I've seen so many things, not just like what social media tells me. I mean, in general, I've seen so many things. So I want to go on those hikes and do those
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
Just want to
That'll find you anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
but-
for me, the hike is like we had kids.
Spiritual
and now the kids are
awakening.
gone, and I'm like, this could be like a way back to your husband when your kids go away. Then you're like, oh, remember me?
that is a
That's
rough hike, though.
Oh,
Like you're
I'm down.
sleeping in the stars, and the,
And I'm willing.
you're carrying that
Let's
do it.
backpack.
Let's do it.
It's a local hike, though, right? Since we're talking about it.
No,
And that's
one
here.
sorry.
rim to rim is. That's a 20-mile.
The rim to rim is the around
Round trip-
the
round trip people?
Grand Canyon.
Oh,
El
my.
Camino is Spain.
Oh, I
But
see
it's
it.
in the area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess my point was going to be everyone fantasizes about taking these big trips to Europe,
Oh yeah.
Africa, or we don't
Yeah.
where, and getting away and seeing it. But there's so much.
Oh no.
Oh,
We've done
yeah.
we do 100.
Yeah.
Oh my
here.
gosh,
national
yeah.
parks.
Spiritual, like kind of a cool,
Yeah.
like
You can go to Red Rock and get a whole, like,
yeah.
Vibe
100
on
we have a
them.
book, Hiking Las Vegas, has 100 hikes in Las Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
mhm,
I'll
it's
take that one
miles.
too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
book is by Adam Gant called Think Again. And it's about thinking like
Again.
a politician, a scientist. There's 4 different ways that he challenges you to think.
Hmm.
Are you a politician where you're just trying to convince someone? Are you a preacher where you're trying to steer someone to think like your way? Or are you a scientist through curiosity? And I just forget the 4th one, but
Hmm.
Adam Grant's pretty interesting way. And it just talks about that way of making people which category do you put yourself in as a thinker and a garner of knowledge and curiosity? And I like to be in the scientist way of like thinking and challenge, because how I think I know something is what I've been programmed, but I want to be in the scientist because you might be bringing me new knowledge and I might now think of it differently, is what I know, what I don't know, but I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
And I love that. So
And that's what I love about the team too. Like when she says that, she really is. She'll come get out my idea. She'll come get Misty. She'll pull everybody to the side, and she really. And I've seen you do that with me as well. Huh?
And I go, what?
Yeah. What? Yeah. And you've done that. We've done that at lunch. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
boom, boom. And so we just. I mean, true leaders sitting here. Our time is
Winding
Oh.
down.
winding
yes.
down, but true leaders really sitting here, and I appreciate you for what you're how
Absolutely.
you're impacting, and what you're doing at your current company, and what you've done in your life, and Sonia what she's doing with people, and it's a beautiful thing to be surrounded, and it makes us, Misty and myself, and the rest of the team grow to that and come up to where you're at, because all tides. Well, how's that saying go?
I love
Friends
that
like
high
us
tide
the same.
raises all ships. Yeah.
See, I'm trying to be wise too.
You don't write that one down though, because we can't even remember our normal one.
I know.
So like, what was that one?
I
don't
know.
remember
Well, we
that.
could probably talk to you forever, but we'll let you leave us with maybe some wisdom, some closing thoughts. And we,
Oh my. I like to, so we'll get operational.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll close with some operations. So I like to think about, there's 3 levers that you can pull in any business, right? And it's trying to make things better, trying to make things cheaper, and trying to make things faster, right? And if you can come up with something that pulls all 3, good for you, right? But those are pretty, you have to be, the idea is simplification, standardization, and scalability, right? These are all the taglines that really just mean better, cheaper, and faster. And regardless of if you're leading a group of accountants, or you're leading a group of technicians, or you're leading a group of customer service agents, whatever it is, come to me with an idea, a thought. What are you thinking, and how does it make things better or cheaper or faster, or all 3? But you can also use that to manage up, right? If you've got a manager that just basically says, no, this is the way. You can't have 8 days to do this. It must be 4. Okay, well, which of those levers are you willing to pull to make that happen? Do I get to hire a bunch of people and raise the price of the program? Do we get to cut quality, right? Just to make it faster? Like, we'll burn through this thing. We'll be done, right? Or is there some way that we can look at this from that perspective and develop something that gets us to your goal by being realistic? And so better, cheaper, faster is something that a friend of mine, a very intelligent person I knew a long time ago, who was way into this stuff, worked at Starbucks at the time, and he taught me that. And I swear I want to get a better, cheaper, faster tattoo somewhere on my body, because I just love it. Whenever you bring that mindset into, I tend to, it helps you level set with other folks, right? Someone that maybe has been working on the team for a long time, but they haven't ever been able to put their fingerprint on the project because someone doesn't know how to communicate with them, or how do I come in and make an immediate impact? We all want to make things better, cheaper, faster. And I've always liked that mindset. So I'll just leave you with that. Look at the levers that you can pull in any of your situations and bucket those in the category of, is it better? Is it cheaper? Is it faster? Again, if you can find one that hits all 3, that's the homework I'm looking for.
that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciated this
Yeah.
conversation.
Thanks
This was
for
awesome.
inviting me. Thanks for
Yeah.
all the kind words.
Thanks for joining us in the Bullpen, hosted by TCG. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might benefit from it. Subscribe, and until next time, do you want a job or not?